Let's decode the importance of selection with the help of this slide. First example for improved performance I would like to give of Google. Google hires engineers after rigorous coding test, which ensures high quality innovation and productivity in their products like Google Maps or Gmail. The second example I would like to take of Infosys for reduced turnover and absenteeism, because Infosys always focuses on cultural fit during the campus recruitment, which helps freshers stay engaged and it also reduces the early exits. The third example I would like to take for cost saving would be Walmart, which invest heavily in the careful selection for supply chain managers, and right hiring also reduces the costly error in the inventory and the logistics. The last one is the customer satisfaction, means the right hiring can cause high level of customer satisfaction. In this category, I would like to take the example of Starbucks, which trains and selects baristas with good communication skills and ensuring friendly service and repeat customer worldwide. Means if you're going there once, you would like to go there often. In previous slide, we were talking about the importance of selection, but in present slide, we are talking about importance of selecting the right candidate. It causes better performance and also cost implications are associated. As research indicates that a wrong hire can cost 30 to 200% of the salary. Legal risk and reputational damages are also associated with this. Let's talk about one example, which is of Uber India case. What happened in year 2014 in the month of December? A Uber driver in Delhi who had a prior criminal record assaulted a female passenger. The incident highlighted Uber's poor background verification process in India. The Delhi government temporarily banned Uber and company's reputation also significantly got affected. The second case is fake credentials issue. This is again Infosys, which reported in 2015. It found like employees with the forged academic certifications, and it led to termination and legal scrutiny. So these are the two cases which we are talking, and in the upcoming slide we are going to discuss more cases. There is some data in support of the previous slides why hiring right person is important. The first example goes to Ola Cabs. In India, a rape of a female passenger by a driver in Delhi was reported in 2015. The issue was the failure to conduct the proper background checks on driver, because this driver had a previous criminal record. The second example is Uber. In 2014, Delhi rape case involving a Uber driver, negligent hiring and verification process. The same cases, but the same location. Finally, we have reached the slide where we are going to talk about the selection process. So these are the headings which I'm going to cover in the upcoming slides: receiving applications, screening, preliminary interviews, employment test, employment interview, reference check, medical examinations, final hiring, decision, onboarding, and placement. The first step in selection process is receiving applications. Suppose State Bank of India post a vacancy for a PO, that is probationary officer. Through the SBI careers portal, thousands of candidates apply online by uploading their resumes and filling in the official application form. This helps the bank to collect the structured information to move forward with the screening stage. The second one is screening the applications. For example, when Infosys announced a campus recruitment drive for the software engineers, they received thousands of applications. Candidates without a BTech degree in computer science or related fields were screened out automatically, which reduced the applicant pool to only eligible candidates. The third step in this process is preliminary interview. For example, TCS often conducts a 10 to 15 minutes telephonic interview during the mass hiring drives, and candidates are asked about the salary expectations, the willingness to relocate, and basic communication skills. For instance, if a candidate is unwilling to work at client's location, they are dropped at this stage. After conducting the preliminary interviews, the preliminary tests are also conducted based on the nature of the job. Let's begin with aptitude and intelligence test. For example, Infosys conducts online aptitude test and reasoning test for software engineering applications or applicants. So, psychomotor and proficiency test, for example, a typing test for the data entry operators or a driving test for the drivers, delivery drivers. Then the third one is personality test. Air India cabin crew applicants may take personality assessment. Now, let's look at some of the most widely used employment and cognitive ability tests in India. We'll begin with SHL cognitive ability test. It is a global assessment company with a strong presence in India, and this test is widely used by IT firms like Deloitte, EY, KPMG, Accenture, Infosys, especially for MBA hiring. The second one is MCAT. This test was founded in India by aspiring minds and is now owned by SHL. It is used extensively by the companies such as Accenture, Cognizant, HCL, Mindtree, and several BFSI firms for freshers. The third one is Marker Cognitive Ability Test. It's an Indian assessment platform for both campus and lateral hiring. It is preferred it is preferred choice for tech companies and consulting firms and BFSI organizations. The next one is Conferry Talent Q. Conferry is a global HR consulting and assessment leader operating in India as well. Their talent queue assessments are primarily used by large multinational corporations, FMCG companies like Unilever and Nestle, as well as consulting firms for leadership and managerial hiring. The last one is TCS NQT, that is National Qualifier Test. Finally, one of the largest campus recruitment tests in India is TCS NQT, conducted by Tata Consultancy Services. It is not only used by TCS but also by its partner companies to shortlist candidates for entry level roles. On the basis of the results of the test, interviews are conducted. A detailed conversation between the candidate and the employer to evaluate skills, knowledge, experience, and also the cultural fit. So, this is a process. In next slide, we are going to talk about the types of various interviews. So far, we have understood what is an interview. Now, let's talk about various types of interviews. We'll begin with a structured interview where the pre-decided questions are there. Let's take an example of Amazon, which uses the behavioral questions like, tell me about a time when you disagreed with your manager. The second category is panel interview, where multiple interviewers are there in the room and they are asking questions from the candidate. Let's take the example of a university which selects a faculty by having a panel of professors and administrators. They conduct the interview. The third category is group interview. Several candidates are interviewed together. For example, a hotel interviews multiple management trainees in a group setting to test teamwork. The next one is a stress interview where the interviewer creates pressure to test the composure. Let's take the example of sales interview. A sales candidate may aggressively question to check the resilience. The last category is telephonic or video interview. It is conducted remotely, like a startup interviews overseas applicants via Zoom. So these are the primarily five types of interviews. This is the sixth step in selection process. This step may look very simple, like checking the references. Maybe the candidate has outperformed, the test scores were really good, the interview was also very good. But if you are failed in this step, trust me, you are going to cry. As we studied, like the wrong hire can cost you 20% to 200% of the salary. So this is true. In the next slide, we are going to talk about some of the examples where the poor references check has caused real problems to the organizations. Now let's talk about how we are going to implement this step. The example questions to the referee could be like, can you confirm the candidate's role and duration of employment? How would you describe his or her teamwork and leadership abilities? Would you like to rehire this person if given an opportunity? Why or why not? So these are the typical job positions, like for all roles, especially managerial and senior. In support of the background checking step, this slide supports that background checking is the most critical step in the selection process. We'll begin with the example of Accenture. In India, in year 2013, had to lay off around 300 employees due to fake experience letters during the background check. This is the report by Economic Times. The second company is HCL Tech, again in India. They had to lay off 350 employees due to fake documents and misrepresented the experience. Business Today 2023. The third example is Tech Mahindra. India 2023. 150 employees were laid off due to forged experience certificates found during the audit. This is by Mint 2023. This is TCS, which has not disclosed the number of employees which are being laid off, but fake resumes and misinterpretation of skills was considered the reason, as per the Times of India report. The last one is Wipro. Again, 300 employees were fired or laid off due to the fake credentials and experience documents by Money Control. All the references are given in the last slide. After background checking, medical examination is the next step. These tests are important for some professions. Example check would be vision test, hearing test, blood pressure check, stress level check. Typical questions could be, do you have any medical condition that may affect you or your job performance? For which positions they are most appropriate? For example, the factory workers, which are exposed to sometimes the hazardous environment. The pilot, always at risk. Police, had to deal with the criminals. And anti-social working hours like 24/7. Then military, yes, again, no chutti. Then firefighter and heavy machinery operator. So these are the some of the professions where you have to conduct some kind of medical examination for the right hiring. Congratulations, you are being hired. Final decision has been made and offer letter is issued. Your annual CTC will be 6 lakh. You will report to the HR manager. Probation period is also mentioned in that. You will be on the probation for 6 months, confirmation based on the performance. Yes. Legal formalities, signing NDA and verifying academic and employment background. Then job positions, applicable to all permanent roles, managerial, technical, and clerical. The ninth step is onboarding. It helps the new hire to become the part and parcel of the system. Welcome session is there. Company's video presentation, introduction to the leadership team, the top management and all. Orientation is also there. Welcome to the job role, KPI, that is key performance indicators and HR policies, and also the code of conduct, like POSH and all, what you're not supposed to do. Then training, how you should be how you should behave in the organization. Technical training on softwares and soft skill sessions are also provided, and also the team integration, which takes time. Yes, assign a buddy which is already working in the organization and conduct team lunch for informal meet. These are the references which I've used in preparing this lecture. I hope this lecture helped you understand how the selection is being implemented in an organization. Thank you so much for watching. Happy learning.